close. All right, welcome to the social distancing tapping support session. It's March 19th. I always feel like I'm like reporting for like a time capsule, like I'm whispering like it's March 19th, they're coming after me. But anyway, so we've got a couple folks here, so we're gonna get started. I would love to tap with either one of you on whatever issue you are feeling right now about coronavirus. So would either of you like to tap? We'll have time for both of you probably. So if one of you wants to start.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Jessica, what's your strongest emotion right now about coronavirus mayhem?
I would say I'm scared about like being exposed and lack of protection.
Okay. All right. And how strongly do you feel that fear?
Are we like out of 10?
Yeah.
Like 7?
Okay. And you'd never tapped before, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So I'll do a very brief intro, but we're just going to kind of like jump into it and you'll follow, because I don't want to do like an intro every day because people might find that boring. Basically, I'm going to do like call and response. You'll repeat after me. We're going to go through the tapping meridians. So if you want to just tap with me on them so I can see, and Megan, you can do that too. Although you did that last night, so I know that you know that. So tap here, top of the head, inner corner of the eyebrow. The doctors on here, we would say medial corner of the eyebrow, the temple, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, which is for anyone listening after the fact, this little notch here. You go down an inch and over an inch, and then you're going to tap there. You can use your fingers. I use my fist. Either way is fine. And for all these points, you can do both sides, one side, the other side, switch over, cross over, however you want to do it is fine. You only need to do one side to make it work. And then the last one is under the arm, like at the bra line. And you can tap here, you can reach over like that. So those are the tapping points. And we're gonna do something, we're gonna just as a protocol of I say something and you repeat it back. And hi, Carol, good to see you again, or see your name. If I say something that doesn't resonate, don't repeat it back. Say what does resonate instead. Like, oh my gosh, this is the most paralyzing fear I've ever had. And you'll be like, well, it's not quite that bad. So then just say, this is pretty scary, or just say that doesn't quite resonate, and we'll come up with something that does work for you. Every few rounds, I'll check in and see how you're feeling. But if you have any like holy bejesus aha moments as we're tapping, you can interrupt me and let me know. And for the folks who are watching who have not done this before, there's a thing called borrowed benefits. The reason why I'm doing these online is because it's not just like watching someone play a video game. You're actually getting benefits if you tap along with us. Even if you're not the person that I'm tapping with directly, you can get benefits by tapping along. So do all of it. Keep yourself on mute and repeat everything back that we're saying, but you can repeat it in your own words. You can also think about a different emotion if you're not having fear right now, although I'm sure most people are having some sort of fear. But if you're not having any fear right now, think about a different emotion. Keep that in the back of your mind, but you can still repeat everything that we're saying. So it's really cool. They've done, this has been demonstrated in all sorts of large group settings, but also here as people have been tapping with me in these things. And I did a session last night too, and people were having benefits, even though I was tapping with one of the women in the group specifically. So we'll go ahead and get started. And we're going to start with something called a setup statement, which is even though I'm feeling fill in the blank, I love and accept myself. And that sometimes feels a little funny for people to say out loud, but just go with it and enjoy it. And we'll get started. Any questions before we get started, Jessica?
No.
And Jessica, I know you, so you're comfortable with me. So I look forward to the day where there's like random strangers who pop into this. But for now, it's lovely that it's all people that I've interacted with, at least on some level. But all right, one day there's going to be like, we're going to be breaking the internet with this thing. All right, so we're going to tap on this karate chop point here, and we're going to say this statement 3 times, and I'll repeat it to you. Even though I am afraid, because I'm sorry, let me start over again. Even though I'm afraid of being exposed to coronavirus because there's a lack of equipment.
Even though I'm afraid of being exposed to coronavirus because there's a lack of equipment.
And I have no way to protect myself at work.
And I have no way to protect myself at work.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even though I'm afraid of being exposed to coronavirus.
Even though I'm afraid of being exposed to coronavirus.
And at my work, there's just not enough personal protective equipment.
And at my work, there's not enough equipment to protect myself.
I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment.
I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment.
Even though I am afraid of getting exposed to coronavirus.
Even though I'm afraid of getting exposed to coronavirus.
And I feel like I don't have enough ways to protect myself.
And I feel like I don't have enough ways to protect myself.
I love and accept myself completely.
I love and accept myself completely.
All right, top of the head. I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
All this fear.
All this fear.
I'm afraid that I'm going to get exposed to the coronavirus.
I'm afraid that I'm going to get exposed to the coronavirus.
And that causes a lot of fear inside me.
And that causes a lot of fear inside me.
There just aren't enough supplies for healthcare professionals.
There just aren't enough supplies for healthcare professionals.
And that means that I'm putting myself and my family at risk.
And that means I'm putting myself and my family at risk.
And it also means I'm putting all my other patients at risk.
That means I'm putting all my other patients at risk.
All this fear.
All this fear.
I'm afraid that there isn't enough equipment to protect me.
I'm afraid that there's enough equipment to protect me.
I'm afraid for the health of myself and my family.
I'm afraid for the health of myself and my family and my patients.
I'm afraid for the population that there isn't enough protective equipment.
I'm afraid for the population that there isn't enough protective equipment.
All this fear.
All this fear.
Jessica, where do you feel the fear in your body?
Hmm?
Where do you feel the fear in your body?
I don't know. Like jaw.
Okay. All right. I feel this fear in my jaw.
Feel this fear in my jaw.
All this fear.
All this fear.
There's just not enough equipment to protect us.
There's just not enough equipment to protect us.
One of the nurses said that they have to wear the same mask for their entire shift.
One of the nurses said they have to wear the same mask for their entire shift.
And they were told to wear a scarf if they didn't have enough masks.
And they were told to wear a scarf if they didn't know that.
I am not kidding. This is what Jessica told me before we started the recording. This is real. All this fear.
All this fear.
How are we supposed to protect ourselves without protective equipment?
How are we supposed to protect ourselves without protective equipment?
I'm afraid of getting infected.
I'm afraid of getting infected.
I'm afraid of what will happen if I get sick.
I'm afraid of what will happen when I get sick.
All this fear.
All this fear.
There has just not been an effective response to take care of this
There's
pandemic.
just not been an effective response to take care of this.
And that makes me feel really afraid.
And that makes me feel really afraid.
All right, so let's pause, take a deep breath in. All right. How do you feel?
Better.
Better? How strong is the fear now?
A 5.
Okay. Did anything else come up for you while we were tapping? Any new emotions, aha moments?
Yeah, I mean, I guess anger along with that fear, I think, goes hand in hand often, you know.
Yeah, I'm feeling it too. So I'm like, that's what's like driving me insane right now. And I'm just like this meditation teacher who used to be a doctor at home, but like, I'm just like, why is there not enough equipment for my people? All right, so anger came up. How strong is that?
Pretty strong, like a 8.
8, okay. Good, because I want to tap on my anger, so we'll all do it together. So 8 out of 10 anger. Any other like memories, solutions, images, anything else come up? Ideas?
Not yet.
Okay, that's fine. I always just ask. All right, so we're gonna switch to anger. So for people who haven't done this before, when something else comes up that is stronger than what you were tapping on currently. It's because we're peeling back the layers of an onion. And as the stress, we sort of dismantle the stress, and other things come up that we've maybe been suppressing a little bit. So when we switch to a new emotion, we're going to completely start over again with the karate chop point. So, and what's your anger about, Jessica?
So, anger at the healthcare system for not, supporting their people, anger at the government for not getting things ready, anger at patients for being really demanding for things that they don't need to be seen for, and being rude when we're canceling appointments and things like that.
Okay, yeah, lots of things to be angry about right now. And where do you feel that anger in your body?
I would say my chest.
Okay. All right. Even though I am angry at the healthcare system and government for not being adequately prepared.
Even though I'm angry at the healthcare system and government for not being adequately prepared.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even though I have all this anger that no one seems to be ready for this pandemic.
Even though I have all this anger that nobody seems to be ready for this pandemic.
And we're not getting any support.
And we're not getting any support.
I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment.
I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment.
Even though I'm angry that I do not have the support of the healthcare system or the government to do the work that I do.
Even though I'm angry that I don't have the support of the healthcare system or government to do the work that I do.
She's a pediatrician, by the way, for anyone watching. I love and accept myself completely.
I love and accept myself completely.
I'm angry.
I'm angry.
All this anger.
All this anger.
It's right there along with the fear.
It's right there along with the fear.
I'm angry that our healthcare system was not prepared for this.
I'm angry that our healthcare system was not prepared for this.
I'm angry that, I'm putting my own thing in here, I'm angry that only now does the government seem to care about people who don't have access to care.
I'm angry that only now people and the government seems to care about people who don't have access to care.
I'm angry that there's not enough personal protective equipment.
I'm angry that there's not enough personal protective equipment.
And we can send off tests all day long, but they're not going to, we don't have the actual supplies to send the test.
Angry that we don't have enough supplies to send the test.
And I'm angry that our patients aren't being understanding.
I'm angry that our patients aren't being understanding.
This is hard for all of us.
It's hard for all of us.
And we're obviously not doing things to hurt people.
We're not doing things to hurt people.
In fact, we're actively trying to prevent spread of this disease.
In fact, we're actively trying to prevent spread of this disease.
And so it makes me really angry when I don't feel supported in my decisions.
That makes me really angry when I don't feel supported in my decisions.
I feel like the government has missed the boat in terms of preparing for this.
I feel like the government has missed the boat in terms of preparing for this.
And now all these healthcare professionals are taking care of patients completely exposed.
Now all these healthcare providers are at risk and getting exposed.
We have no way to protect ourselves.
We have no way to protect ourselves.
And that makes me really angry.
And that makes me really angry.
So much anger.
So much anger.
I feel the anger in my chest.
I feel the anger in my chest.
I can't believe that we're so unsupported.
I can't believe that we're so unsupported.
I'm angry that people are being rude when we have to cancel appointments.
I'm angry that people are being rude when we have to cancel appointments.
We're doing our best to help this country through this crisis.
We're doing our best to help this country through this crisis.
And we seem to be the only ones that are putting ourselves at risk.
And we seem to be the only ones that are putting ourselves at risk.
All this anger.
All this anger.
So much anger.
So much anger.
All right, let's pause, take a deep breath. So how are you feeling now, Jessica?
Better.
Better?
Probably about a 7.
7. Okay.
6. Maybe 6.
Okay. I was like, that was just a little better. What came up for you as we were tapping?
I mean, I guess then more sadness, sort of, sadness about like people who, I mean, we are putting ourselves at risk, but there are a lot of people who can't work and, aren't getting paid and stuff like that. So, at least we have a job.
Sure. I have a friend who was saying yesterday, she's like home, with her kids. She is a physician, but works like in a non-clinical job now. And she's like, I guess it's pretty privileged of me to be like complaining about like homeschooling my kids right now. Cause I'm not out, she's got a job that's paying her still. And also she doesn't have to be out there wearing scarves to protect herself from catching coronavirus. So it was a really cool perspective of hers.
Yeah.
How strong is the fear right now?
It's less, even like a 4 maybe.
Okay. And all right. And how strong is the sadness, would you say?
That seems to be higher now, like a 7.
7. Okay. So is that higher than the?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back. Let's go to sadness and see what happens. And I don't know if you notice this happening at the beginning of the third thing, you sort of sighed a little bit. And as several of you have heard, sighing, yawning, tears are all a sign of emotions being released and things passing through. So if you find yourself sighing as we're doing it, that's why. And for anyone else who's like, why are we focusing on the negative? That's how this works, is we're sending, the tapping is sending calming signals to the brain stress center. As we're saying these negative things, that's how it works. If we don't say the negative things, we can't, the calming signals have to be in the setting of whatever we're finding distressing. So that's why we're doing that. All right. Even though and where do you feel the sadness in your body, Jessica?
My stomach, probably.
Okay. All right. So even though I'm sad that there's people out there who can't earn their living.
Even though I'm sad that there are people out there that can't earn their living.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even though I'm sad that there's people out there who aren't able to go to work and earn a living to support their families.
Even though I'm sad that people can't go to work and earn a living to support their families.
I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment.
I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment.
Even though I just feel this sadness for other people who are suffering in their own way from this virus.
Even though I feel the sadness for people who are suffering in their own way from this virus.
They're not able to go to work and earn money.
They're not able to go to work and earn money.
I love and accept myself completely.
I love and accept myself completely.
Top of the head. I'm sad.
Sad.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
There's a lot of people out there whose lives are being disrupted right now.
There's a lot of people out there whose lives are being disrupted right now.
And they have it a lot harder than maybe even I do.
They have it a lot harder than I do.
They're not able to make any money to support their families.
They're not able to make any money to support their families.
They don't have any security right now.
They don't have any security right now.
And they're at home with their families feeling very powerless.
They're at home with their families feeling very powerless.
And that makes me sad.
That makes me sad.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
So much sadness.
So much sadness.
Everybody in our society is suffering right now.
Everybody in our society is suffering right now.
It looks different for everybody.
It looks different for everybody.
And I can't even imagine what it must be like for those poor families who aren't able to bring in any income.
I can't even imagine what it looks like for the families that can't bring in income.
I didn't mean poor, financially poor. I meant just like, oh,
Yeah.
So sorry about that if that was not politically correct. All the sadness.
All this sadness.
At least I have a job.
At least I have a job.
And I'm sad for all these other people who aren't able to make a living right now.
And I'm sad for all these other people who aren't able to make a living right now.
I'm sad for everyone whose lives are being disrupted right now.
I'm sad for everyone whose lives are being disrupted right now.
I'm sad for business owners who had to shut their doors.
I'm sad for business owners who had to shut their doors.
I'm sad for yoga teachers and
Restaurant workers.
dressers and all sorts of people who are not able to make a living.
Sad for yoga teachers and restaurant workers and professors who aren't able to make a living.
So sad.
That's sad.
I feel so much sadness for everybody.
I feel so much sadness for everybody.
We're all grieving right now.
We're all grieving right now.
I'm sad for all the vacation plans that had to be canceled.
Sad for all the vacation plans and Bali retreats that had to be canceled.
Oh, thank you. I'm sad for the kids' birthday parties that have had to be canceled.
Sad for the kids' birthday parties that have had to be canceled.
All right, let's pause. Deep breath in and out. How are you feeling?
Better.
Better? How strong is the sadness?
Like just a little better, like a 7.
Okay, I think you said it was a 7 before.
No, like a 6 then.
Okay. Anything come up for you while we were tapping? New emotions or aha moments or insights or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, but it felt like I worked, it was like, fear and then anger and then sudden, it just felt like working through some stuff.
It's working through. Okay. And how strong is the anger right now?
Like a 4.
Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. So you see, even though we've moved on to other emotions, like those are what's underlying a lot of it it's like a house of cards. So it kind of all comes crumbling down. And how strong is the fear?
Probably like a 4. Yeah.
Okay, so that's still a 4. And all right, so we'll still tap on sadness. And also important to remember that like intellectually, you still know that there's not equipment. It's not like you're like forgetting that there are risks out there, but it's whether or not these emotions are consuming us. That's what the tapping can really help with. So intellectually, these problems are all kind of still there. I mean, they are still there, but whether or not we suffer as a result of them is the part that we're able to control. Versus the reality of what is happening out there. All right, let's keep tapping. I'm sad.
I'm sad.
I'm sad for the disruption of everyone's lives.
I'm sad for the disruption of everybody's lives.
I'm sad for the working parents who don't love staying at home with their kids, doing homeschooling.
Yes, very sad for the working parents who don't love homeschooling their children.
I'm sad for those stay-at-home parents who also don't love staying home and homeschooling their kids.
I'm sad for the stay-at-home parents who don't love homeschooling their kids.
I'm sad for the people who don't have families and are by themselves during this time.
I'm sad for the people who don't have families and are by themselves.
I'm sad about all the people who aren't able to make money right now.
I'm sad for all the people who aren't able to make money right now.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
I have so much sadness.
So much sadness.
I feel so sad.
I feel so sad.
I'm sad that there's a lot of people who are being forced to stay home right now.
I'm sad that there are a lot of people being forced to stay home right now.
I'm sad that there's a lot of people who aren't following social distancing and are putting other people at risk.
I'm sad there are a lot of people not following social distancing and putting other people at risk.
I'm sad that life as we know it has completely changed.
I'm sad that life as we know it has completely changed.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
I feel really sad right now.
I feel really sad right now.
Not just for me, but for everybody.
Not just for me, but for everybody.
I feel the sadness of everyone in our society right now.
I feel the sadness of everyone in our society right now.
Okay, let's pause. Take a deep breath. What came up?
It just got better.
What got better?
The sadness got better.
How strong is it now?
Like a 5.
5, okay. Anything else come up?
No, I mean, I think sadness is still the main thing.
Okay. Anything else in particular that you're sad about?
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, like just the like change of life, the change in plans, the like views of the future that are now disrupted.
Okay. So let's try a new technique. This one is called ranting, and you're not ranting right now and you're not being crazy. But what you can do is just say all the things that are making you sad right now. And we'll tap along with you and just say, and you guys at home, anyone watching this after the fact, just talk about all the things that are making you sad right now. And one thing per tapping section.
Okay. I'm sad my kids can't see their friends right now. I'm sad we can't see my grandparents. I'm sad that people can't work. Sad that restaurants have to close. I'm sad that the government's not supportive. Sad that the healthcare workers are putting themselves at risk. I'm sad that.
You can repeat.
Okay.
Whatever's on your mind.
Sad that our, that vacation plans might have to change. I'm sad that people don't have enough money. I'm sad that kids won't have meals, lunches, and breakfasts if they're not at school. I'm sad kids won't be able to learn as well as they might in school. I'm sad that people are going to lose family members. I'm sad that people aren't taking this seriously. I'm sad that it's, adding stress to everybody's life. I'm sad that there's not enough equipment for people to protect themselves. I'm sad that we're all stuck in our houses. I'm sad that the stock market crashed.
You want to keep going, or are you ready to take a little break?
I think I'm good.
Okay. You did great. I'm like getting teared up just listening to all the things that you're sad about. I so connect with so much of that. All right, let's take a deep breath. How do you feel? What came up for you while you were ranting?
Just more sadness.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, same kind of thing, just tearing up and feeling that same kind of stuff.
Yeah. How strong is your sadness now?
I don't know. Is it bad if it gets worse?
No.
Yeah, maybe a 7.
7. Okay. All right. Anyone else on here? How's your sadness doing? Any other comments from the peanut gallery? I'd love to hear Carol or Megan. What's been coming up for you guys?
I think, but the good thing is I've been able to relate to each emotion too. So that's helpful.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I think I'm zen from last night though. I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, it's okay. So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I feel better than when I started.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, maybe I'm like a 0, which is scary.
It's not scary. It's good.
Like, oh, okay. So
yeah.
Thanks.
It's passed through. And we're just, there's like, usually when it is taking, like, sometimes it goes through super fast, but sometimes it takes a little while. And so we'll get back to what's been going on with Jessica, because I mean, I'm still, if I think about it, like I'm still sad too. Carol, How about you?
I'm still sad, but I think it's good to be able to share the feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I share it when I talk to people on the phone, but to be tapping to do something is helpful.
Okay, awesome. So a couple things. So first off, it doesn't have to like leave immediately, but talking about this, we're not shutting ourselves off anymore. So when we're tapping, we're kind of opening ourselves up to actually feel our emotions and let them pass through. But something else that I've been talking about quite a bit the last couple of days is this feeling of like feeling the collective and taking on the collective sadness rather than it being our own sadness. And that's something that people who are, you may call yourself an empath or not, but if you often like have a lot of compassion and empathy for other people, you take on their feelings, and that can be a wonderful gift, but it can also be something that like burdens you if you don't have a healthy way of dealing with it. Because if you're taking on everyone's sadness right now, you know, a good friend of mine is in business, and it's like they're all just like this group of them on their big business like survival coronavirus plan. It's almost like they're all trying to like fix the economy themselves, you know, this group of 20 people, and it's not possible. So we're all trying so hard to like to feel things and fix things, and it's affecting us all so much. But remember, when we feel an emotion, we can ask ourselves, is it mine? Is this someone else's, or is this the collective's, or am I being triggered by something? So trigger is like, you know, if a parent or a sibling or a friend says something that always drives you crazy, and then you're just, that's being triggered. So that's a different type of, you can tap on that too, but that's a different kind of emotion. So Jessica, do you think there's any part of you that might be taking on collective sadness here?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, just trying to, well, and maybe collective fear too, you know, I mean, running a business and then thinking about, you know, extreme drops in revenue, trying to support staff and support our own families and, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, trying to take that on from the staff so they're not, you know, worried about their next paycheck and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's also a difference between like doing your best to make sure that they're taken care of and taking on their worries for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like worrying for them doesn't change the financial situation.
Right.
So also something, so what a really great tool is, and I think we talked about this last night, Megan, is if you feel like you're taking on other energy, you can literally just say, and I learned this from my friend and colleague, Janet Raftis, who's an energy healer. She's awesome. You can just literally say, I'm sending this energy back to you. Maybe that was during my group med that I did that, but just say, I recognize this energy, I recognize these emotions, and I'm sending them back. And that can also be a really powerful tool. So let's just all just close our eyes and do that right now really quickly. This is a tapping session, but also important. So close your eyes and just try to like feel the collective sadness and fear or whatever it is that you're feeling right now. And just say, thank you for playing. I'm sending it back to you now. And just, you can energetically send it away. And it's a very simple technique, but it can work really well.
Thank you. I'm sending it back to you.
All right. All right. So let's keep tapping. Where's your sadness right now?
Like in my ears.
Okay. And how strong is it?
Like a 6.
6. Okay. So we're doing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's keep tapping. I'm sad.
I'm sad.
There's so many things that I'm sad about right now.
So many things that I'm sad about right now.
Everybody's got stuff that they're going through.
Everybody's got stuff that they're going through.
And it's almost unbearable to think about how much sadness and loss there is right now.
And it's almost unbearable to think about how much sadness and loss there is right now.
So much sadness.
So much sadness.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
I'm sad that people can't work to support themselves.
Sad that people can't work to support themselves.
I'm sad that my employees have to worry about whether or not they're going to get paid.
I'm sad that my employees have to worry about whether or not they're going to get paid.
I'm sad that we're not allowed to live our lives the way we're used to doing.
I'm sad that we're not allowed to live our lives the way that we're used to.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
So much sadness.
So much sadness.
I feel sad about the lack of freedom that we have right now.
I feel sad about the lack of freedom we have right now.
I feel sad that there's a lot of people who are financially insecure right now.
I feel sad that there are a lot of people who are financially insecure right now.
All this sadness.
All this sadness.
I'm so sad.
I'm so sad.
So much sadness.
So much sadness.
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
I'm so sad.
I'm so sad.
I just can't seem to shake it. Oh, you guys are frozen a little bit. Okay, there you are. All right. I just said I can't seem to shake it. I don't know if you repeated that.
Yeah.
Okay. So much sadness.
So much sadness.
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
I'm sad for the people who are worrying about finances right now.
I'm sad for the people who are worrying about finances right now.
I'm sad for the people who aren't able to work and provide for their families.
I'm sad for the people who are able to work and provide for their families.
So much sadness.
So much sadness.
Okay. Pause. Take a deep breath. All right. How are you feeling now?
Better.
Better?
Everything feels like a 2 or a 3.
Okay. So we were talking about this last night on the tapping session where I met Megan. A lot of times it'll get like super bad and nasty. Like it swells before it dissipates. So the key is a few things to know. First off, keep tapping. It doesn't all have to go away in one session. It's sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. And Jessica, I know you, and there's nothing broken with your nervous system. So sometimes it just takes a while and there's a lot to be processing. But the other thing is tapping on sadness itself is a little hard. We want to be as specific as possible. So there's sadness about the financial aspect. There's sadness about trips that are being, like the fun things that are being canceled. There's sadness about staying home. There's sadness about all these different things. So it can be helpful to tap specifically on one version of the sadness, and then another version until that's gone, and then another version of the sadness until that's gone, and then the sadness goes away. We kind of tapped on a lot of it all together, which I think is why it was taking so long. Not so long, why it took as long as it did. But for moving forward, like when I have clients who have really, really bad general anxiety, if we're just like, I'm anxious, it's not going to help that much because there's so many things that they're anxious about. So we try to really break it down into what specifically they're feeling anxious about. So awesome. Okay. So you said, so the fear and the anger and the sadness are all down to about a 2 or 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. So we're going to tap in the positive. So you're going to love it. So it's lovely. And then we'll see how you're feeling. Okay. I have all sorts of emotions right now.
I have all sorts of emotions right now.
Some of them are mine and some of them I'm feeling for the rest of the world.
Some of them are mine and some of them I'm feeling for the rest of the world.
And the underlying facts are all still there.
The underlying facts are all still there.
But I do have some control over my emotional responses to the world.
But I have control over my emotional responses to the world.
And having strong emotions doesn't make me weak or doesn't make me bad.
Having strong emotions doesn't make me weak or doesn't make me bad.
It makes me human.
It makes me human.
But I'm open to the fact that I don't have to take on everyone's suffering.
I'm open to the fact that I don't have to take on everyone's suffering.
I don't even have to take on my own suffering.
I don't even have to take on my own suffering.
I can have the emotions and feel them and then process them.
I can have my emotions and feel them and process them.
I can't solve all the problems of the world.
I can't solve all the problems of the world.
And I am excited to be able to use my energy towards creating positive change.
And I'm excited to use my energy to create positive change.
I'm doing everything I can in my position to help in this crisis.
I'm doing everything I can in my position to help in this crisis.
And I feel all the sadness and anger and fear leaving my body.
And I feel all this anger and sadness and fear leaving my body.
It feels so much lighter to have them out of my body.
It feels so much lighter to have them out of my body.
All these intense emotions leaving my body.
All these intense emotions leaving my body.
And now I can focus on my family.
Now I can focus on my family.
Now I can focus on having compassion for my patients, even when they're being angry, even when they're being rude.
Now I can focus on having compassion for my patients, even when they're being rude.
And I'm also going to give myself grace if they still make me angry.
I'm also going to give myself grace if they still make me angry.
All these emotions leaving my body.
All these emotions leaving my body.
So much more light and free.
So much more light and free.
Okay, let's pause, take a deep breath. How you feeling?
Better?
Anything come up while we were tapping that last round?
No, I mean, you know, definitely there've been good things about having everybody at home and spending time together and not having to rush off to 5,000 activities and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's great. And when we're just like, aha, this sucks, not saying you were doing this, but when we're all just like in our head about how bad everything is, we miss some of the beautiful things that are going on right in front of our faces. You know, like I did the type of meditation I teach is not silent, it's not mindfulness, but I was at a mindfulness retreat for doctors before like back in 2015 probably, and we did a day of silence, and I looked down at the ground. This is probably like halfway into the silence, and what looked like just regular ground, all of a sudden, like I saw a little brown lizard scoot away and like a frog and all these things that were there, but because I was actually taking the time to notice them, this whole world opened up to me. It was really a pretty powerful experience. And that's what's happening around us all the time, but we're just missing it. Synchronicity and connection and all sorts of wonderful things. So great. All right. Well, thank you so much. I feel like we're probably like at a good stopping point here. If we start someone else, it might go over. And Megan's still feeling all the zen anyway. So does anyone have any questions or comments before we end today?
I think the one thing that I would add, like I think last night I told you I felt like this tingling going through my body.
Mm-hmm.
Today it was weird. It was like my heart kept sinking, which was really weird, and it go into my stomach. So I don't know. It was interesting.
Was it a positive feeling for you or a negative feeling, that heart sinking?
I think it was negative, but then it went away towards the end. So
Okay.
like the first few rounds, even with the different emotions, I kept having this heart sinking. It was odd, but then it's gone. So I think it worked through something. I don't know.
And what you can do if you're having stuff like that, you can say, even though I'm having this sensation of my heart sinking and I don't know what it is, I love and accept myself. And my heart sinking and I don't know what it is. And why is my heart sinking? And I wonder what it's trying to tell me. You'll figure it, like that will lead you to it. And if you're still having that, come back. Even if you're not, still come back on tomorrow and I'd love to have you again and we can tap through that.
Cool.
But anything like that, you can tap on anything. So anyway, thank you so much for joining. We'll be back again tomorrow at noon Eastern time. And I feel so bad. I'll get these emails that like your Zoom attendees are waiting for people who are in different time zones. So noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. And thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Bye.